Star Trek The Next Generation on Blu-ray, episode Angel 1 from Season 1. Review. This is day 16 of 30 of my 30 days of Star Trek reviews. And this is not one of my very favorite episodes, but there's some interesting things in it. So let's look at it. So they're going to the Women Planet to find survivors of a freighter from 7 years ago to see if anyone's there. Kind of a slow rescue mission, but what can you do?
No problem, sir.
Look at Wesley. Look at what a good friend is to his friend. Check this out. Right in the face? Are you serious? This episode has some incredible matte paintings. Look at this thing. Isn't that awesome? There's lots of different layers to it. There's even, on this one there's like little people. There's like a daytime version and a nighttime version of this matte painting. Now, Picard's going to explain this very strange world. Listen.
Here, the female is the hunter, the soldier, larger and stronger than the male. An arrangement considered most sensible and natural.
I am Beata, the elected one of Angel One. Representative.
Okay. So it's a matriarchal planet, which... awesome, good for them. But they say that the females are all like larger in stature, so all the guys are like little and like very like they have very fine features. But one thing I think is funny is the costumes. So all the females have these like giganto sharp shoulder pads. There's no like skin. They're very like modest and businessy looking. And then the guys all have these like super open shirts with like one nipple showing. And they have this big, heavy, uncomfortable earring. And then right here, I'll let you use your imagination. They have like this, like, it's almost like they're wearing tights and then they've just like wrapped some shiny thing around the middle so that it's just like crotch highlight. So it's very clear that in the costuming, they're trying to get the point across of like, they're in charge. These people have been sexualized and objectified and kind of put lower, and so it's supposed to be like, oh, how absurd, and then make us reevaluate our personal biases or values or whatever. But it's just funny. It's like so obvious. The costume is just like objectification, but for some reason it just looks really ridiculous. The guy's chest hanging out and his little crotch outline thing. But their shoulder pads are cool. They look like they could cut you, maybe. I'll call this clip the gawking clip. So Riker tells this lady's like in charge of the whole planet, that Data needs to access their library. And then she says something sexist. And then she super gawks at him. Look at her eyeline. And again, this is trying to tell us something about how men treat women in society in the 80s. Look at this.
Our library is far too sophisticated for a man to comprehend.
I am an android, mistress. Though anatomically I am a male.
Look at her eyes.
Maybe you could teach our males a thing or two. Trent, see to the android's needs.
Those are some gawky, very specifically pointed eyes there. And I think they did it on purpose. I think they're trying to make you feel uncomfortable by her like staring down to make you reevaluate how you treat people. I don't know. It's just, this episode is just so like on the nose that it's a little harder. This isn't one of my favorite ones. There's still some great parts in it, but there's also some dumb parts. So this is a really great visual break from the normal Enterprise orbiting shots. Look at this. This is awesome. It's like an above view, just cruising over. You get to see kind of more of the model at once.
Bridge to Captain Picard.
And you just get those scenes are just huge examples of how good these Blu-ray restorations are. So as has been the pattern lately with these first season episodes, is there's been kind of two crises going on at the same time. So you have the adventure down on the planet, and then also something going on the ship. So everyone's getting sick. And we get to see a lot of different people in charge of stuff on this episode. So, observe.
Lieutenant LaForge, you have command until further notice.
So Geordi actually has a great command presence, even though you can tell he's a little bit nervous. He fulfills the role well. Look at
Yes.
Geordi being Picard here.
By the away team.
Make it so.
Ha! Yeah, he said the thing. Geordi said the thing. Love it. He's so proud of himself. Good job, Reading Rainbow. So Geordi's sending Worf to sickbay because everyone's getting sick. And this right here is kind of a microcosm of one of the things I absolutely love about this show is the relationships between the crew and how they respect each other's rank and how they're here to help each other. And so Geordi's in command of the entire ship right now, and Worf is about to give him an awesome while you're in command pointer.
LaForge here.
The computer won't accept the variant climate controls.
On my way.
With all respect, Lieutenant, there are people to do that job now.
LaForge to engineering. Lieutenant Wong knows that system. I'm sure she'll be able to resolve all problems. Worf? Thanks for the advice.
Nice. So there's some other good episodes and good moments of like people having a personal relationship and then with their rank and then being professional and helping each other. And that was one of the things Gene Roddenberry wanted for this show is he wanted the crew to get along. And I love watching that. I think this aspect of the show is one of the things that makes this show like a comfort show for so many people, is that it's like a nice place to go to after a stressful day, is watching people be professional and helpful. Okay, and speaking of people taking command of stuff, Tasha Yar is about to take command of the away mission, which is really cool because I don't think she's done that before. It just so happens that the reason she does take command is really, really stupid because Slut Riker in Nipple Edition outfit is going to stay behind with this lady and have the rest of his away team go do the work.
Riker to Lieutenant Yar.
This is Yar.
In the interest of diplomatic relations, I'll remain here with Mr. Spiata while you conduct our search.
Commander?
You have your instructions.
Relax.
All right. So, one, Tasha Yar is awesome, and there's not enough episodes with her. So, I cannot remember the reason Denise Crosby left the show, but she was awesome while she was here. Two, was it not the very, very recent episode to this that Imzadi hypnotist Troy gets an arranged marriage, and then he starts posing like a whiny teenager all over the ship, and he's like, "Oh, wah, you're going away," and then it's like 2 seconds later, he's like, "Oh, you guys go work. I'm gonna go hang out with this lady." It's just like, I know you're trying to be diplomatic, but like, it's hard. So I really like Riker, and there's something he does at the end of this episode that is incredible. And he's normally so morally upright and great and everything. And I know that they view like open relationships differently, and I know they're technically not in a relationship, him and Troy. But it's hard to not view him as kind of a cad in this episode. So you're my Imzadi until I want to mess around. Then we put that on pause. Then later I come back if there's anyone that's going to show any interest in you, and I get all defensive and pouty. Seems about right. So this is a standard Star Trek preachy end of the episode speech by Riker instead of Picard this time. But this is actually a really awesome speech. So you have this matriarchal planet where they treat men like such, and the survivors of this freighter landed on their planet years ago, and it's since caused problems in their society where the roles between men and women are changing or equalizing or whatever, and it's upsetting the status quo. And so she is going to execute all these people. She's going to execute the survivors and then the people of her society that have joined with them. So here's a little piece of Riker's awesome speech to her.
Mr. Ramsey and the Odin survivors did not initiate the waves of dissent that are rippling through your planet. Their presence here merely reinforced the change in attitudes between men and women that was already well underway. They became symbols around whom others who shared their views could gather.
Right. So the point is, they want to kill all these people because they think it's going to squash it. But Riker is basically saying it's not going to squash it. They're going to turn into martyrs.
The execution of Mr. Ramsey and his followers may elevate them to the status of martyrs. Martyrs cannot be silenced.
Such a wise old cad. Anyway, no, it's awesome. It was actually a really, really great speech. And one thing, again, that's really enjoyable about Star Trek is that when they do go to these planets that are kind of open to the universe that they can go visit with, not the ones that they're not supposed to mess with because they haven't advanced far enough, but these more advanced ones, boop, even if they have barbaric ideas with executing people that have different ideas than them. So one of the things I like is when they can go to these planets and you can witness like cultural revolutions basically happening in real time, or you can see like the little buds of changes in their societies for the better. And so again, like the Federation is flying around making everyone better. And this is one case where you see it as well, where change is going to start happening on this planet, and it's probably going to be for the good. There might be growing pains or whatever, but it's just, this is a cool part of the show, is that you get to see the cultural evolution happening on different planets. Here's Data in command of the Enterprise, completely alone on the bridge because everybody is super sick. So again, here's another part of this episode, like a theme of this episode is different people being in command of different stuff. So just look at that shot. That's incredible. This episode has some cool parts, but again, this is not a favorite of mine. I'm not a big fan. I get the lesson. I get the idea that you should, that we should be like, whoa, that's not okay to treat other gender like that. We should be nice to each other or whatever. Like they're trying to be like, what if it was reversed? How would you feel? And it's like, okay. So it's fun to explore that idea, but the episode's a little, it's kind of a silly execution. Plus it bums me out when they portray Riker like this. Because I think he's a great example. It's just occasionally I think he's a little bit of a slut. So anyway, here is the Blu-ray. This is this is Angel 1 from season 1 of Star Trek Next Generation on Blu-ray. Day 16 of 30 in my 30 days of Star Trek reviews. So thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. If you think this is a dumb episode or if you like it or whatever. Okay, bye. See you in the next one.